Guys, game number 1 right now. Autocracy, CORENINE. Let's take a look at what we got here for starting lineups. I don't think we really have anything really too special to talk about here. It's the main kind of lineup that I think we're both pretty used to seeing.
Yeah, it's not too unfamiliar to anyone who's been watching. I think Raze is probably the, not strangest, but the most different to what we see across several other regions. But the rest of it, very, very much exactly what you're used to. Maybe swapping out the Raze for a Sova is potentially expected, but no, they're just going to chill out. And A site looks to be on the cards right now for CORENINE on the attack.
Alright, so it is going to be Autocracy defending CORENINE on attack, like you said already. Different kind of C9, I guess. I mean, when I saw C9, I was like, really? Are they already got their hands dirty in Korea, but not CORENINE? We'll see what they get to do. The Witcher being played as well. We had a couple of laughs about that guy possibly having something to do here, but ASDF, he's got a very tight angle. Fosu is going to be the one really peeking for him, though. We'll see if anyone actually walks forward into spawner. Oh, there's one.
Well, I think we might be a little bit... I think I might be a little bit ahead of you there, because I just watched him absolutely clean house. Okay. He's just absolutely dead in these corners. I'm going to have to pause for a second, I think. I'm on 22 seconds. 21.
Okay, well, let me... You know what? Let me be the one to... Let me do something about that as well on my end.
Perhaps.
Alright, guys.
I'm not sure, but either way...
Sorry about this. Anyway... The point is, look, John, we're getting into the real action here for the round 2. Apologies for any of the issues here. Obviously, I'm going to be producing and casting and doing all the rest at the same time. We should be synced up now. We should be all live. Major stack over to the garage section, CORENINE. Coming through. We'll see if the anti-eco is successful here for Autocracy.
Just to try and counter it out, of course, pretty crucial to be able to hold on to it, but the C site pretty much overrun right now. Spectre in hand, though. It's going to do Law proud. 3 kills already. Peeks for another. Brings out the 4th. The 5th waiting in garage. Rolex trying to move up into that window position. Not really checking the angle just yet. He jumps up. There's a breach to face. And he gets that headshot there. Picks himself up a Marshal. The spoils of war, but Law is on the hunt. He wants the ace, and he's going to claim it. Round 2, and he sweeps them clean. 5 on the board.
Look, we didn't really think that CORENINE was going to get too much done there with the eco still in hand. Ace, though, does mean, well, the fact that it's not just an ace, but most players, they stayed alive. I think there might be the one rebuy. Like, there's one dead so far. Godlike's the one that ended up actually going down. So economy-wise, still looking pretty safe here for Autocracy, but it is going to be CORENINE finally with the purchase. Round 3 is the interesting one. Round 3 is where we expect a possible swing, but otherwise still lots of money for Autocracy.
Should be alright, and it was only the Marshal that they lost as well, remember, which is only 1.1k, so losing that, the cheapest of the guns. A nice turn up for the books, and it's just going to be a default spread on CORENINE's gun round.
Once again, though, I do have to say, reasonably aggressive angles from this defense over here, especially ASDF. Just hiding underneath the window. I mean, I can understand us doing something like this on a pistol round, or maybe even an eco, but at this stage in the game, no one's really even spotting for him either. The other player over there is Godlike, who, again, if we have a push coming through towards A long, I think if he goes down, I mean, he's going to get 1 kill. He might be good for 2, but I expect that he'll get traded very quickly. Here we go.
It depends on his trigger discipline. He'll be able to bide his time maybe, but he's holding face. They are creeping in. Spots 1. And there it is, the trade, just like you said, AVRL. They are going to continue to push, but not super fast down A long. The rotates can come through. There's a flank as well in the meantime from the Raze, and Fosu holding face towards A short as Ali cleans up that flank. They now have no one to worry about behind them. They have the cam up as well on the tree. See if they can use that. Watch out. Check the angle. Fosu is not going to spot out the Cypher. Playing close towards the site. I have no idea what just happened there. They just walked straight past each other.
I was going to say,
neither of them were able to get the kill.
How are they not able to see each other at that point in time? But the plant does eventually come through. Autocracy with 2 still alive in this 2v3 scenario. And this, by the way, was a situation where, because Godlike died so early, yes, first of all, Autocracy get the early information, but CORENINE don't have to commit towards A. They can go dark again. They can force players to rotate over towards A and still make a B or C hit. The stage of the game, as time does run out. Here we go. They got to walk on through and instantly fragged out. Nothing to be claimed there by Autocracy. 3 members alive, spike planted, and a round claimed.
They are going to be pretty happy with that one. To bring it back, just hitting that economy game pretty strong right now. We'll see what they're able to do on the buy on the defense. They are going to struggle to put together a full buy. I imagine we'll see a couple of Bulldogs, maybe some Spectres coming through, but the armor situation, not ideal. Whoever wins out this round can start to take charge in terms of the economy and try and use that momentum to move forwards. It's normally what you see is this 2-2 situation after a loss in the third round. So we'll have to see if that can come through.
It's already a big opening kill coming through. Orbital strike being used. Annex down. That's just Sage play. He wasn't really very close to, I would say, the resurrection. He was only 1 out of 7. Well, I guess 2 out of 7 now, being that he just died. This is the kind of moment where, oh my goodness, shut him down. That's a decent trade. We'll give him that.
They're going to be able to take a spray, take a fight, but it's unlucky who comes up trumps on that one and is able to take the frag onto Godlike. They continue to just pressure across the map. They haven't chosen and elected to go for a single site, but ASDF is going to be hidden and manages to land the headshot. Spike carrier goes down. Rolex trades it, however. A little bit of damage found, but they're in a 3 versus 2 now, AVRL.
That's the thing. ASDF playing those angles, realistically, he just gets the single kill. Now, I do have to recover the Spike. It won't be too hard. It is a 2 versus 3 scenario right now, and very split defenders. You can see one all the way over to C. That's Law. The final play here, Fosu, over towards A, which means B is completely open. I don't know that Rolex has really realized what the situation is. They're going to go for the C hit anyway. Law should be able to get the opening kill. He needs that one. He needs to collect the rest as well. 2's probably enough at this stage.
He's able to find 1 and 2 as well. Ali now left. The Lone Ranger, low HP. As the Spike will get the plant, but the Brimstone all the way on the opposite side of the map. You can see both of them creeping around. Playing towards Garage. It seems that's going to be where the post plant's going to come from. Only has the satchel, but has the showstopper as well, if she wants to go for it. Can drop down that Molotov, isolating the angles, making sure that it can't come there, but there's a big flank coming through, AVRL.
Does he get this one? He does. That's going to collect it. That's going to be enough. Ali, you'd imagine at this stage in the game, as we get to a stage where you do need to go for the defuse, the showstopper, and this is, by the way, in a 4th round where that's kind of the first ultimate on the board. The other ultimates are starting to come online now, but really 3 is quite early for ultimates to come on. 4 is now getting to the stage where the players that have performed well will have them, and now 5, everyone else is starting to come online, so to be able to get a swing very early in that 1v1, it's very good coming through from Ali. I think he had the advantage anyway. Usually when you're the attacker in a post plant, very likely to win as long as you're not sticking your neck out super early. 5 sack coming through from the defense, John.
Now going to push down C long. The camera, though, will spot them out. That will be spotted. And now, do they rotate? Do they push on towards A? No. They just fall straight on back on the defense, but here we go. There we go. Guns out. They're rotating, pushing on to A, and they won't really meet any resistance here. They just need to clear those angles, making sure that they are going to stay safe. Brimstone sky smokes. And the Sage wall will just seal them in. And now it's a 5 versus 5 retake.
Except it's all pistols on the side of Autocracy, and they've arrived quite late to the party, and this is with the fact that they decide to rotate quite quickly onto A. Now ASDF had to stay on C just to make sure it wasn't a fake. And CORENINE have all but got this right now. I think if you're Autocracy, you want to be able to go in and try and get some of these kills. Godlike with the Frenzy into heaven. I don't think it's going to do too much over towards anybody at long. They got to go in, though. Are you really going to save pistols here, John? I don't think so.
Probably not. They may be looking towards the armor to have a little bit more money. But you're right. I think
frags,
that you kind of just go for these. Exit frags probably most likely here. You can see that Annex trying to go for those peaks, do a little bit of damage, but not going to be super lucky with that one. Just fall back, fall down.
Oh, that's a risk.
The frag on the outside. The paint shell comes around. The showstopper's in. Looks for the exits, but just throws the ultimate to no avail, and they don't get anything in return.
He needed a play to bait from ASDF. He went in first. If there was a possibility where he dies by going in first as well, he doesn't get the showstopper off at all. Unfortunately, he does pull the showstopper out. His second one, actually, it's been incredible. How do you get another one so quickly? In any case. No, it's actually ASDF. No, that's the other play. Never mind. Yeah. It was the other Raze player that had it. Point being, though, that still didn't have the player scouting for him for information. Made the guess play and doesn't connect any shots. Now the standard, both teams will finally have weapons again to go into round number 6. Double stack for the defenders over towards long, which means you don't have a player in the connector. Now you don't have a player over to C either. CORENINE collecting the spike. Haven't really decided to go into C though, so I think they are just trying to bait more members over there and find a vulnerability somewhere else.
Hasn't really worked super well though. Obviously they managed to get that pick, but they haven't managed to draw anyone on the rotate towards C. This is where they can claim economic momentum, AVRL. This is where they can really set themselves up to boost into a really quite strong lead. If they were able to win this round, they didn't lose any guns last time. So they're able to win it out here and save plenty of weapons. That'll be alright.
It's not the ideal place to be losing an operator. Putting in CORENINE have not quite decided. They got 40-something seconds here. And they're just forcing AUTOCRACY to thin out the numbers even further. I mean, now they've got a 2-member push towards, well, rotation towards the A site. And if you are going to default on this map as a defender with only 3 members alive, typically it is going to be A, B, and C. And at this point in time, it's just the one defender here. I don't believe he's going to get too much done. Annex might be able to get a couple kills, John, but no, it's just going to be the one.
They were expecting him not to peek there, or the attackers were expecting him to peek a little bit earlier, so he was able to get one, but as you say, that is all they're going to find. And now it's exits, it's refrags coming through. Fosu playing next to the trap will destroy it. It gets spotted out, and they'll know he's there for that. Well, they go for the face, spots the next trip as well. We'll be able to take that down, so all of the safeguards now removed. Raze trying to operate from defender spawn as well. Headshot found. The Witcher goes down, but nothing more found. ASDF now, it's his time to strike and see what he can do. They know there's one towards the alley. Goes to the spray down towards Garage, but Rolex comes out on top of that one. 2 players left standing. Not ideal, but they'll win the round and bring themselves to 4-2.
Well, I don't think that was really too doable by ASDF right at the start, right at the end of that. I think you needed to see, you know, first of all, the double entry is exactly what you want to have going back in for the retake. However, to win a 1v2 when there's not really too much time left remaining, I think Godlike started off to be able to do a decent amount of work to even get in. AUTOCRACY down a couple of rounds. You see the momentum as well. It's 4 going the way of CORENINE in the last 6, and now 5 members pushing towards A into the double stack, or soon to be triple now for AUTOCRACY.
They can rotate in fast. They're going for the flash point to try and slow that one down. We'll hit 3 players, so a nice stall coming out. We know that CORENINE like to take the back foot when they get stalled out and their initial plan doesn't go quite perfectly. They know they have time to just reset and pull back and go again. Look at them. They're just spreading out and going for a default once more.
Well, Law has quite an aggressive angle here, but he does have a Sheriff. This is kind of where you would want to be playing if you had something more like a Shorty or a Frenzy, to be fair. Still no real decisions being made, though. CORENINE have not actually even played for picks at this stage in the game. They don't realize that nobody's home at B, but once they scout this one out, they know the wall is definitely down, and the Sage player has been mostly hanging around the window and the connector of Garage C. And AUTOCRACY at this stage as well has no idea what's going on. They've split themselves up quite a lot, and finally the B hit will come through.
ASDF drops down the Doombot to try and scout them out, throws in the paint shell, as well as the satchels. They're going on through. Not really any damage found for them, however. A lot of util used. Godlike trying to change that one up. ASDF ruckles in, finds 1, finds 2, and gets out of the Brimstone ultimate. This is one hell of a retake coming through from AUTOCRACY already. They stopped the spike from being planted when 15 seconds left on the clock. They can't even push onto the site. A huge retake coming back in for AUTOCRACY.
And now there's not going to be a plant at all. Not enough time left. 3 seconds, 1 second. Times are absolutely gone for 9. Might be able to get a couple of kills right at the end. Anox will take down Ali, and that's going to be 1 less weapon for CORENINE going into the next round, number 8. The money situation is still pretty fair on both ends. We haven't seen, I think you need a few more deaths to really be able to knock that cash down. AUTOCRACY finally gets one back after 4 failed rounds in a row. And at this stage, looking for at least 1 operator. Godlike's going to be bringing that one over towards A.
ASDF, an absolute madman on that retake. He was able to get 2 kills, stood in Fosu's ultimate, in the Brimstone ultimate of his own team, because it does less damage to teams, and then just managed to get himself out of it as well. It was absolutely insane. Fantastic plays coming out from the Rays.
No one's peeked into Godlike yet. I mean, there's one player that might be in a little bit of trouble here. Unlucky is kind of just hanging around A short. Most of the action is possibly going to go towards C. You can see that already for AUTOCRACY. They've moved their B member a little bit further back. One's playing window as expected, and then Lord a little bit further back on the scene. Now they've spotted the operator. Now Lucky knows, or maybe Unlucky knows. There's one AUT player there. Foster's managed to creep himself up very close.
They have been punished from that angle before. See if they check it, but instead they're going to opt to insert into mid and see what they can spot out. Knife peeks coming out from Anax. Just trying to gain any information. 48 seconds. They stalled themselves out last round. Looks like they're going to do the same again this time. Try and push on to B late into the round.
Godlike, by the way, is only one off from his... no, he's actually... Yeah, he is one off from getting the Rolling Thunder, and that could be something that could really stop a plant situation as we're heading towards the 20-second mark now, and once again, CORENINE is just taking their time. This is pressure on because slow orbs are being spammed, and AUTOCRACY know it's going to be B. Foster's going to go for the flank, but fails it against Ali, so that's going to be now the back. At least maybe save. Look at this from ASDF, though. 3 on the board, so quick. Spikes on the floor again, John. That's not going to be a plant anymore.
Apparently, you can't take B site against a Raze who's not on it. It's absolutely impossible, certainly for CORENINE right now. They just run in, they get shut down. That's twice now that they've been able to just dismantle that push, and the slow rounds starting to come back to bite CORENINE. They haven't had the tempo of any of these rounds, and what we were praising them for before, taking that measured approach, taking their time and checking all those angles, is not going to start. It's going to be read into here for AUTOCRACY, and they are turning it around on them.
They're not able to really develop either of these sites, or any other sites really. They haven't entered any of this with picks in the last couple rounds. And you can just see it there. The fact that 2 rounds now for AUTOCRACY have been won just due to time alone. It's not something you see too often. Rolex is going to get the early pick onto Godlike, and making that offensive operator count, by the way. They knew Godlike had been sniping a decent amount, so they just wanted to challenge. And now finally, you know, I was saying they weren't getting picks early on. They'll get one now going into A.
Capitalize on that. They've got pick 4. Rolex finds another onto Fosu, so they can continue to push up. Neural Theft is in, and they can just find that kill as well. 3 kills on the board now for Rolex. ASDF fallen, the chief retaker himself. And now they're on the back foot, 4 versus 2.
This is going to be tough. The good news for AUTOCRACY is that the spike has only just been planted, so another 45 seconds of opportunity to work with here. They have a resurrection, they have the neural theft as well. At this stage in the game, I do think you have to really consider, do we just save? Do we save the ultimates? If they wanted to go for this, they have to get the res, but they can't because those members have died on the site itself, so this is going to be far too difficult. They also don't have a body to use this neural theft on. And they're just going to run away to C. This is going to be a round going the way of CORENINE after what I think was a couple of very disastrous pushes from them in the last 2 where they just lost the time.
The op shots coming out from CORENINE were just absolutely insane. They should have been punished, quite frankly. They should have been refragged, but neither of them really came through. And that third one was pure skill coming out from CORENINE. So they are going to get away with all 4 guns intact as well and continue to push forwards on the economic game towards the latter half of this first half on their attacking side.
My question is, does Godlike snipe again? He doesn't actually have enough money in mind. I thought maybe someone else on his team was going to maybe purchase for him, but that's not going to be the case. 5-4, John. It's really close. 11-3 scoreline for Rolex, and ASDF on 11-4 as well. So we've got some major fraggers coming through the Witcher. So we get to put one in the board, which definitely slows down his ability to get some of these resurrections in. It's going to be Orbital Strike to open up towards Garage. But no maneuvers being played off that. It's not like CORENINE actually pushed in during that. So, didn't really achieve too much at the end of the day. Maybe just scale AUTOCRACY a little bit.
This seems to be the running theme, right? Is they make these plays and they try and open ground and then just forget that they've done it. And, and just fall back and wait and try again the next time. And then they slow push in after it.
I think they were maybe thinking they could get a pick there because they did get a kill, I think, previously in one of the earlier rounds. But you can't really rely on that. I would expect that they should be pushing in on that Orbital Strike. I mean, if you're going to open up Garage, you should be making your plays in, and for what it's worth, Law's not sniping either, so I don't think you should be that scared going up against the solo Cypher. Once more, it's ASDF playing the close angle, and I think the good news here is he will be in position to go for a bit of a flank play. In fact, he's getting impatient now. He's going to go for it now. We'll see if he can find anything.
It doesn't look like he is going to spot anything out, because of course the rest of the team all the way over on C. 39 seconds left. And ASDF now is just closing down these angles, closing down the possibilities of where they are. Hops over the trap wire. So the Cypher might think he's a little bit too safe. In comes the Rolling Thunder. Doesn't hit Law. The trap is activated. Rolling Thunder to counter. One spray down, but it's traded almost immediately. Shannon, before he gets booped up, able to come in, take a second kill as well as Ali opens up onto Godlike. Now 2 players left coming in on the retake, AVRL. They need to try and come in as the showstopper is out.
Jesus.
But one is found. Shannon will fall it down, but Rolex is there. He has got the operator, and it's operating flawlessly right now, playing from behind Plateau, but it's 1 player left standing. They have got the res. They don't want to invest it just yet. He turns the corner, but Rolex has the classic. That's what he's going to need. 6 rounds.
I certainly thought about taking the resurrection. I mean, the 1v2 clutch is possible. It's going to be difficult. I believe that the 2 members alive is all that they need at this point in the time. 6-4. Opportunity for 2 rounds for Autocracy to still bring this one back. But I think CORENINE, even looking at that last round, I wasn't feeling confident, John, I'm going to be honest, because they still waited until about, what, 25 seconds before they really decide to push in. And that stage in the game, they were maybe waiting for Autocracy to get impatient, waiting for Autocracy to maybe make some moves first. Get a couple of extra early picks from Autocracy members that were going to walk into sight lines. Speaking of which, Law barely misses that one.
So close, not quite able to hit it. Just the strafe peeking with the knife coming through. Drops the spy cam, and this time around he'll not go for the op shot. He'll just try and mark them, try and go for it a second time. And that's unfortunate. ASDF is just going to fall. Got a little bit over aggressive, and that is what CORENINE like to wait for. You don't need to be pushing these angles, because they are just going to wait for you to try and do so and run their own clock down.
That's definitely been the strategy so far. They like to get 1 kill, maybe go dark, force Autocracy to then, you know, spread their members out a little bit thinner. Then they decide where they want to push, roughly around 25, maybe 30 seconds. And 30 seconds would be even fast for them, I say. At this stage, oh my goodness, Rolex just wanted to challenge that angle, and Law's going to punish him. So now CORENINE got some decisions to make. It's going to be A-John.
They're going to push in, flashpoints through, paint shells as well. Don't think that managed to quite hit. Godlike able to get 1. Fosu holding from short, able to get another, as he turns it on for a 3rd headshot onto Shannon, and they have not managed to displace him just yet. A nice Molotov to push them away from the angle as well, and he turns the corner for a triple kill. Excellent play from short from Fosu.
CORENINE there, they believe that they had the advantage over towards A. That's where they got the opening pick. I think losing Rolex over towards C long, not ideal for them. At that stage in the game, if you're really going to start to commit towards A, first of all, are you trying to sell a fake with Rolex over towards C? Because I don't know that that really worked out too well for CORENINE. And the 4 members walking to Autocracy who are well and established setup at A to cover for the deficiency of their lost member. 5-6 now. It's been a super tight half. I think there's great chance here for us to be even up going into the second half.
Ray's going for the Y peak. ASDF not going to spot anything out. They did leave a Vandal back on the ramp last round, so they are just going to buy double guns on this one and try and get the early peak and then have the same versatility that you would do with that AR. But it's back to basics for CORENINE. Spread out, go default.
Rolex is trying to find some trap wires on the wall here. Understand it's a lot of Cypher v Cypher battles going over here. Thinking about playing tandem into sightlines with the operator. Well, obviously, if Rolex goes down, well, his teammate there, the Witcher, would pick up the rifle for him. But obviously, you don't really want to be copping a loss too early here. Not when you have the opportunity to maybe take the 7-5. Garage pressure as well. Annex has to back out. Just ever so slightly. Oh my god. Walks back in.
Oh, no way. He's going to go for the peaks again and manage to get the headshot onto Ali. Absolutely insane coming out from Annex. What a madman. They go for the res after the wall. So they do burn that, but his last round and a half, it's worth it to keep yourself in the advantage in terms of numbers and pacing.
Annex has to value his life here, John. I'm not a big fan of him making aggressive plays because, look, if he goes down there, that's the resurrection gun. That's a major tool that Autocracy want to hold on to. Speaking of which, Orbital Strike, back of beat. It's going to be another beat push. These haven't worked out too well. Ali's going to take down ADSDF, and now the counter Orbital Strike to push them out. CORENINE are unable to push in 14 seconds, and we've seen them fail these before.
Breach did make his way onto the site in the meantime, but Anax is raining fury down. Shannon now last standing, walks through the Molotov, goes for the spike plant. One player pushed in from the A side. Law looks around, and he's going to be able to get the spray down. CORENINE, they get on the site for the first time, but unfortunately for them, they aren't going to be able to hold on to it. 6-6 on the half. as Autocracy get the defuse.
And CORENINE are desperate to try and get a push onto B at some point. It never works out, John. It's not worked out at all. Not a single time on that particular first half. Punished. I think the 7-5 was possible. They had some decent early pressure. Not killing Annex is a bit of a problem for me. I think that should have been a kill for sure. That would have given them a decent advantage walking through for the rest of the map. But again, just late pushes punished them a lot. On the defense, we'll see how they play as we swap sides here. 6 and 6, like you mentioned, super close.
Yeah, it's been a journey. Okay, I normally put it on the main limb for that camera to spot out long, but I didn't know you could put it further out on there. Playing Cypher on C, I have seen it quite a few times. I've seen it's been something that's coming through a little bit more. I generally play Cypher on A, but maybe I'm missing a trick there. I like to be able to stall out the pushes on A, because generally, if they're pushing A, you play for that retake and just fade away. Whereas on C, you can get that info, but you have to be maybe more confident in your long-range battles, and maybe that's where I fall down personally on that front. But it's interesting to see how these Cyphers are playing around that C site, playing around those sight lines, using the cam down long, making sure that they can control the ground.
I think it was a really interesting overall attack coming through from CORENINE. Again, I just want to speak to the fact that how patient they are has been, I guess, a virtue, but I think it's also been very costly for them for the most part as well. Several, was it 3 failed pushes onto B, so that's 3 rounds they can account to the fact that they weren't able to really get any inroads on towards B, nothing to really give them the advantage. I mean, you see the opening orbital strike even on that last round. Okay, they use that, they think this is the go time. But they've misread the ultimates on the enemy side twice in a row, where, unfortunately for them, Autocracy also had a counter orbital strike to stop them through. But now, Pistol, into round number 13, Autocracy are looking towards Garage.
Feels like they want to play a little bit faster than CORENINE were in the previous game. They push up, they use the smoke, they use their U-tilt, and they clear the angles. And with it, they've taken ground. They've left one of their agents in that window position, and then they've opted to fall back. So they maintain that ground, but the question is, will Ali be able to hold this one off? I think they're just both biding their time as they push over to A.
Ali might actually go for this one. He's really creeping up. Speaking of, it's going to be the rest of the members here. Autocracy moving their way into short. 2 members there to receive them on the opposite end for CORENINE. It'll be the Moustache Bros. Ali and, Shannon are unlucky. Shannon gets that first pick. We'll get 2 before these 2 players eventually go down, and now suddenly it's going to be action, resulting in a spike plant. Meanwhile, by the way, ASTF did manage to push through into the back of the window, so he'll be able to rejoin his teammates now over in Defender spawn.
And not only that, he'll be able to control a major direction of insurgency for this retake. He's just got to turn around, land the headshot with a frenzy. So now it leaves CORENINE in basically an impossible situation. They'll be pretty happy with this one on the attack. Autocracy showing them how strong a fast play can be. And they go over towards the A site, get the spike down, and lickety-split, they clean it up.
So I wasn't too happy about ASDF and some of his angles on the defense, but now on the offense, his lurk, at least on that opening pistol, has been pretty useful, as you sort of mentioned there. He's just able to get his way around the back of the defender spawn and take that off angle that I don't think CORENINE were really expecting. So early pistol going the way of Autocracy. You can imagine that the anti-eco here will also be theirs. Ares being purchased 2 pistols though. This is the interesting thing, John. Does say to me that they may be saving for operators early on for round 3 in the half.
It generally, you want to be able to rebuy if you lose that 3rd round, and so it's kind of a tricky one, right? The economy is not quite fully solved, I would say, on a lot of fronts. So going for these pistols, I would say it's fine, because you know you're going to be coming up against classics, maybe light armor, which means that it is 2 headshots with those ghosts, but it's not going to matter. He's just going to land it. Rolex goes down. They are playing the back of sight with the classic, but again, Annex finds another frag. The Sage, the entry fragger on the attack onto C site. Yeah,
well, he's the one with the ghost, right? So if he dies, not the biggest deal there. That's not a weapon upgrade for anyone on CORENINE. So I think this is going to now just work out pretty well for them. Unlucky, well, you can't really do anything with the shorty at that range, mate. You have to change up that strategy going forward. Shannon is one of the last 2 alive. I think they're looking for exit frags at this point in time. Well, they also maybe know they're being hunted down. Autocracy, I don't know that they want to be too aggressive here. If they just leave these guys alive, it's not the biggest deal. They're not saving any worthwhile guns, but Annex will find one anyway.
He's just going to be able to sneak in, get that triple kill on the board. See if they can peek on in. Not too much more to be found. They clean it up. They get all the frags on the board. And that is going to be Autocracy, capitalizing on their pistol.
Moving to the gun round here. Rolex hasn't actually bought a gun. I say that, I mean, he's bought a gun, obviously, but he's not bought a good one. So usually in round 3s, you see a bit more of an investment coming through from the defensive side, unless they really over-purchase early, which I don't think they really did. So I'm a little surprised they're still on a few mid-tier weapons. Typically it would be 5 rifles. It will now be mostly rifles, but still a few Spectres on for Autocracy. So this might actually be quite an even round as far as equipment is concerned.
Rolex operating with the Bucky. I'm a big fan of the Bucky. I think it's one of the most high-value weapons in the game. 900 credits it costs, and it has so much one-shot potential if you're playing in those close angles. As long as you aren't sort of opening up onto these long pushes, you can have a huge impact. You know, you get doubles, triples sometimes. So in terms of that investment, I'd say almost every time it's worthwhile if you play it right.
Let's see how this C push goes for Autocracy. They've certainly been able to hold so far. Annex has been going nuts this half. That's the Witcher down, but will lose the duel to Ali, who will find himself a Vandal upgrade. That's probably something you do have to be careful about. A little bit more disciplined play from Annex would have just been to back off after the initial frag, go back and support the team, and at that stage, play for a proper post plant around either long or going into garage control. So CORENINE now, they have guns on their side for this retake. Double entry, 1 in garage, 2 over from the elbow as well. Godlike down early, 2 more alive.
The spray down comes through, 2 kills found, now down into the 1 versus 1. Activates the cyber cage noise, but unlucky swings, gets the 3k, and the retake is good. CORENINE hold on to the first round they found in a half.
So that's going to be an important one for them. Rolex ended up going down there, unfortunate. Wasn't going to get too much done with the Bucky. I know that we do talk about it as being like a pretty high value gun. I think for 100 more, the Stinger is kind of in the similar conversation. So, in either case, we're not going to be using those guns for a while now. It's now onto proper rifles. Even saw an operator being pulled out for CORENINE over here. That's going to be in the hands of Rolex, who's still holding over towards A. Now, it's interesting that they're going for a 2-man start over towards A. Now, if you have an operator, I guess the thing here for them is they kind of want to have a situation where, you know, playing tandem, if your operator player goes down, you can recover the rifle. But yeah, otherwise I thought that maybe you could possibly just have the one guy there, and that's fine for you.
Oh, a quick little intermission, maybe trying to figure some things out. But yeah, I think Rolex swapped out the Bucky, which I was a little bit disappointed about for a Phantom that he found on the floor. But
who does
in the
that?
round, I know, right? Like you've committed to the Bucky lifestyle, and quite frankly, I think it's a little bit rude to try and, you know, try and just leave out of that. But you know, each to their own. It went pretty well for them in the end. He was able to back up the team. Some nice frags on the post plant. They were able to get at least 2 on the push, but it was just unfortunate that the retake from the defenders could get into those positions and move around on the site where they were able to take the favorable fights in the end. So it's kind of indicative of a very, very close game that we've been seeing. You know, it was 6-6 at the end of the half, and now it's gone back 2-1 so far in this half. And I'm excited to see what they're going to be able to pull out. Remember, it's a best of 1, so it is absolutely crucial for either of these teams, and it could come right down to the wire.
So I'm looking at Rolex here specifically. He's kind of grouped up with his teammate, who I believe is unlucky 77-7, which are actually lucky numbers, so that's the play that they were looking for. Now, resumed here. Okay, ASDF playing to the sideline and discovers the operator. Still has the balls, by the way, to keep on pushing through regardless. Rolex has already moved over to the other end. It will be unlucky to maybe check for ASDF pushing through. The rest of Autocracy still on grass, maybe looking at garage.
Ali holding towards the back of window, has the judge in hand. If they do push up close, it's a similar story to the Bucky. A little bit more expensive, but a higher fire rate and plenty of damage it can kick out. It's like a mule, that thing. Don't want to get on the wrong end of it. I'm just going to fall back, however, not opting to push in.
So this is the important thing. Notice where ASDF is. He did this earlier on in a round where he was hiding in window. At this point in time, CORENINE don't actually know where he is. They have a camera looking towards short, and he's now saying to the team, look, I'm still in the short position. They've not discovered me. Maybe this is safe to push. Rolex is even looking towards B. They've completely faked out CORENINE, who don't know where to go right now. Unlucky will get the bad news soon. He's going to pop up and realize he's got 4 people in his face.
Feels like he's got the read. He goes to the fault line. Here's the shots. Flashpoint as well to back him up. The slow will stop him peeking out wide, but Rolex is there to back him up from A connector. And Akers, though, not phased by the slow one bit. Turns the corner, finds the double. Try and invest the Hellfire, but it's going to be countered in kind. The Witcher taken down, but we'll get the heal out. 10 seconds remain, but they're on the site. They have to spike down. It's
a default plant as well. CORENINE still have 3 members available. But depending on how much util's left, by the way, and that is going to be a swap on the weapons. You see the Rolex just dropping the operator. Oh, sorry, my Rolex is actually dead. Well, whoever dropped the operator, doesn't matter. It's 2 members alive for CORENINE. No ultimates there. But this retake's going to be tough. Shannon is just going to get the one before Annex picks up number 3 in the round.
The ADS having to come out to pick up the first, and by that time, Annex swings into your vision, and you know you're in for a bad time when that happens. Guys on fire, doing so much work for the squad. The attack prevails, and they will put themselves up to 9-7 for Autocracy.
Would you believe that Annex is not top fragging right now? I mean, we'll check that again when the scoreboard is brought back in. At this stage in the game, it feels like his impact is being felt. He's right there, right behind ASDF, who's been the lurker for the team so far. Now, Ali did manage to get away with his weapon, so all is not lost. It's not looking fantastic for everyone else, so they're going to have to really try and play off the single operator. And if you are... Okay, they've given it over to Rolex. He is their sniper. If you are Rolex right now, if you can maybe get a couple of kills and then push on those rifles, that's how you can kind of reclaim that round. But at the same time, Autocracy, I think, will be trying to guard those.
The Witcher going 0 and 12 right now. Really underperforming, quite frankly, into this game. Need a little bit more impact. You know, we can see it from a stage. We've seen Annex, you know, try and step it up a little bit maybe. They're on an eco this round, so I'm not expecting too much, but Autocracy already finding 2 openers.
It's already going about as poor as you can imagine. Ali down as well. Autocracy still have everybody alive. I believe that was neural theft being used.
Yeah.
4-9 at this stage in the game. They have no idea where to go. If you are the Witcher right now, I understand what he's doing. He's going to save the operator. That's smart. But your last guy alive, who... I believe that might be Shannon. Last guy alive, Shannon here. I think he might try and go for the exit frag. He might want to do something. Maybe the 2 of them could even just try and group up a little bit here. Because I do think Autocracy, they want to hunt for the operator specifically. If you can get that gun away, that's major economical damage.
Absolutely. 4.5k. As well as any armor that the Sage might have. Well, I'm not too sure if she did stack up any, but Face will come through. We'll take contact. The question is, will it be spotted? Oh, goodness me. No. ASDF makes short work of that. Oh, wow. Boy.
That's unfortunate. I actually think the way you play this one is you have Shannon, who, by the way, does get a kill. Shannon will go down here 100%. There's no way he lives. But Shannon, who does get 2 kills. He still dies. I'm still correct. I'm holding on to it. The point I'm trying to make there is if Shannon plays over towards, you know, Garage Connector, or he plays the actual alley of C, and he dies, then that gives early information over to Witcher to look in that direction, and I think he would have had a better chance of holding on to his operator there. So really, if Shannon was going to go down anyway, which he does, I think you just play for his. I think you just play him as bait for the Witcher, who at this point in time is still on 0-13. That could have been the one, by the way, John. That could have been the one kill that puts him on the scoreboard.
Unfortunately, we'll have to wait to see that. It's not going to go his way. They fall it on back and try and reset for the next 10-7 now, and this is really dangerous territory for CORENINE. They need to try and step it up now, try and find those defensive holes, but that's not how you do it. The Molotov finding Ali, they zone him away, they force him to take a poor trade as ASDF finds another, and Autocracy are really ramping up here. This is going to crush the economy for CORENINE. They need a miracle to come through now.
I'm surprised. Autocracy just got 2 kills there, 1 over towards Garage, 1 on C, and they've just fallen back. They've given up on that position when I think that was the perfect time to actually push C. Maybe they were scared there were other members there, but you have the numbers advantage. Well, CORENINE have an opportunity now. They're actually directly going to push into the Rolling Thunder. I'm not really liking it from Autocracy, but I think they have the numbers to win regardless.
They're stacked up short. They haven't been spotted. But the rotations are there. Not a lot of sound being made at all. Will they read into it? The Rolling Thunder could just completely dismantle this push. In they go. They don't check the angle first, but the rest of them swing on and get the refrag. Nicely done. And no Rolling Thunder now for the retake. The Witcher from heaven.
Oh, there it is.
One. There's the first kill.
We got him.
The game for the Witcher.
In the game now. We got this. Witcher, all he needed was one. Little criticism towards Unlucky, though. We'll wait for that one. Annex might pick up two. Oh my goodness, that's all it's going to take. He had the same angle. He did the same thing as ASDF early. He just hangs out, lurks towards the window, then makes his way around spawn. Now back to Unlucky. If he actually wanted to play the Rolling Thunder, which I think would have been great for their team, he needed to play a safer angle, maybe behind boxes. He spots a one player, gets that kill, hides behind Rolling Thunder's out, and then he can maybe get the rest of the frags. Just off the Rolling Thunder alone, he can do that. At least get 2 kills at that stage in the game. That allows CORENINE to still get the retake. But that's all in the past now. 11 rounds for Autocracy. 5 of them just in the last 6 here. CORENINE have won nothing for ages.
Look at that. They have all of their ults available as well. They're just not sure where to invest them, it seems, on the defense. They didn't really take that much initiative on the attack, and it seems like the defense is going to be no different for them.
I mean, they finally use... I mean, realistically, you're supposed to be using things like Rolling Thunders for retakes, Orbital Strike to prevent the plant coming through. These are pretty obvious. Showstoppers for opening frags or a bunch of other things as well. I think it really speaks volumes when teams that are losing still have a ton of ultimates. It really says that they just haven't found the right opportunities to use them, which is a major problem because you could have swung huge rounds with that so far. It will be the C hit pretty soon. One lurker also over towards the B site.
They're playing it slow. Stacked up in cubby. One Hellfire might just find everything they're looking for, but the smokes are there. Last time SDF was in this position, he was able to get a cheeky little pick, but he's not going to be so lucky this time around. Certainly not at the start. Anax, though, wants to entry. Look towards the garage.
Showstopper.
Shannon to hold the first. Showstopper is out. Will find Fosu as well. The paint shell is there, and this is where they're investing the ultimates, AVRL. They continue to push on, but Shannon has the angle. Was he looking at his screen? What's going on?
Oh, there he is. I was just really concerned there. I don't think he realized.
Finally able to find it.
Well, he couldn't see through that wall. We did indeed. CORENINE ended up saving this, and I think a lot of this comes down to the fact that we weren't afraid to pull the trigger this time around. Showstopper being invested. Didn't even have to use the rest of them. I could see a position, sorry, they also use Orbital Strike, but I could see a position where they actually lose control of site anyway. Maybe the Showstopper doesn't get a kill. They have to back out, go for a bit of a reset, and then into the retake using the Rolling Thunder. Res on their way in as well. And they have the capability to do a lot still, and they're going to have to bring back a decent number of rounds. They're only 3 behind, but look, sometimes 3 is all it takes. Autocracy still have plenty of money in the bank, whereas CORENINE are only just starting to recover.
Fast up towards a short ASDF. Satchels across, and with the Doomba as well, that's just going to scour the angles, and fast, aggressive push. The camera did not spot that cross as well. Just going to do wonders for them. Now they have that same control that we saw them operate with towards that A site before. And they pressured C last time. They might just do the old switcheroo yet again.
Speaking of yet again, I wonder if ASDF is going to find anything. If he's just going to maybe just call his team over or make a bit of a rotation at an opportune time. Annex has found his way below window. So these guys have so far just really like to play these odd angles. I think if you are going to go A now, and this is kind of what we've seen previously, right? Autocracy slip one member deep into A. He calls for the push to come through, and now Annex will go for the lurk flank. He's actually going to find 3 members next to him, so I don't know if he's going to find the same success as before. He'll even reveal his position. I think Annex is making a big mistake here.
Well, they are going to go 1-for-1 on the trade. Will they spot him out? The res is on, so they lose that trade as well. Rolex finds one, spots the push, but they lose the breach and they lose the Rolling Thunder. That's the second time they've pushed A and denied them that threat on the retake.
He needs to stay alive. Not really much more to say about it. Rolex is going to at least have this neural theft now after confirming the kill of the operator. I mean, they're not going to be holding anywhere. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I was just going to say, he wasn't going to get too much information, but that information gives them the kill to blast packs, and now this is going to be Autocracy's time. Godlike for 3. Some big opportunities. 1 versus 2 situation. He'll have to find the first one pretty soon. Tandem here, operator in hand. Rolex misses the shot, but Shannon should be good for it, and he is.
He's going to be able to get the defuse, and CORENINE hold on for now. Autocracy still have the cash. They still have the credits in the back pocket to survive into these later rounds, but now we're getting down to the wire. This is the close game that I was expecting. It seemed like Autocracy might just be able to press down on the gas and open up a lead, but they have been denied, and they will be low on money as well. If they lose this one, it's looking to go even Stevens on legs 11.
We need a couple more rounds here for CORENINE to really get things to be evened up, and I think looking at the money situation, yeah, you're right. Autocracy will certainly be in trouble if they lose another one. I can see an eco on the horizon fairly soon. Still definitely think Annex could got a lot more done if he just waited for players to cross over after the hit on A came through, but again, that'll just be in the past. This time around, he'll have the resurrection available. Well, actually, he had that before, but he still got it, is the point.
The question for me is CORENINE going to be able to use the Rolling Thunder? That's all I want to see.
Well, not if unlike he's playing the angle that he's playing. He constantly plays angles where he will 100% get traded. Look, there's two things that happen here. If you're playing that close, you're either getting an ace or you're going to die. Annex, he is going to die.
The Witcher picks up another kill in the game. Fantastic stuff, but gets traded pretty quickly. Godlike has managed to make his way into the sneakiest breach angle I think I've ever seen. Using the enemy wall to actually get up there, get up to the top, and he did get spotted out. I have an inkling, instead they change it. Oh, was that the Rolling Thunder? I think it might have been.
Yeah, it
Rolex
was.
able to use it on the stun, and Godlike goes down, but the spike has been planted. It's open to mid.
ASDF, he's the most important member now. You know there's always going to be post-plant members hiding around main. They're going to be in mid, somewhere around window, maybe grass as well. But ASDF is one guy they're not accounted for. So now, Fosu, orbital strike prevents the defuse. ASDF's time to strike as well from the angle. Gets alley. And this is trouble time for CORENINE. This will be the 12 in the border. I'm sure of it. Autocracy have won this.
Oh, Fosu gets the spray down from the mid window. Easy pick up there. And Shannon goes down. Autocracy in surge. The B site, they are going to be able to claim it, and a beautiful post-plant position set up is going to leave them on match point. And they have that res available as well, close to several of their ults. This is their time, this is their moment to try and crush it.
I've been so pleased with the more, I guess, good lurk angles that we've seen from Autocracy. A little bit risky on the defense, but ASDF, time and time again, he's able to get into positions that the defense of CORENINE are not expecting. They're not looking towards them. And that's on top of the fact that, okay, well, this is exactly the time where you have an orbital strike and it's going to win you the round. CORENINE, if they lose one player quickly here, oh, I mean, they've barely got enough to work with as it is.
Ali not quite hitting that shot, will be peaked again. You can see they're just going to ping on the map and get that pre-aim down. A little bit of damage found, actually, onto Breach on CORENINE on the defense, but Rolex is going to be able to take down one of Autocracy. ASDF falls, one of the heavy fraggers for the squad, but they're pretty evenly distributed. Rolex going aggressive here on a long, and actually looking to push all the way up. The Cyphercam won't have spotted it. He's holding face in Garage in the meantime. Rolex gets the sliver, will spot the barrel, gets the shot. Fosu goes down, looks for the Sheriff as well, but they aren't going to find it. There comes the Cyber Cage, and finally they're able to take it down, but ASDF gets resurrected. And we're into a 4 versus 4. Shannon tries to strafe over it, nearly gets the Vandal back out, but Annex shuts it down, and the aggression is punished.
And this is the thing I have. This is why I'm not liking these plays, because Rolex, if he did the exact same thing over towards the safe side of A long, he might still be alive, he can still run away, but because he's so close, he dies, he forces the rest of CORENINE to come and respond to the fact that A is no longer covered. That opens up C now for Autocracy to take. They will get the plant, and this is where the 13 is going to come in. CORENINE have way too much work to do, not enough time to do it, and certainly not enough members alive.
A miracle, really, to be prayed for right now, but it's going to be really risky, as you say. Close up and personal, the Witcher finds the first frag, and all of a sudden, they're, starting to turn it on. This might be his time, but no. Anax gets the triple kill. Maybe looking for that fourth as well. They can just sit on the site. Godlike gets 1, gets 2, switches it on, and that is going to be the match for Autocracy. They will continue to push in the upper bracket of Group A.